The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus summoned the crowd again and said to them, "Hear me, all of you, and understand. Nothing that enters one from outside can defile that person, but the things that come out from within are what defile." When he got home, away from the crowd, his disciples questioned him about this parable. He said to them, Are even you likewise without understanding? Do you not realize that everything that goes into a person from outside cannot defile, since it enters not the heart but the stomach, and passes out into the latrine? Thus he declared all foods clean. But what comes out of the man, that is what defiles him. From within a man, from his heart, comes evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, licentiousness, envy, blasphemy, arrogance, folly. All these evils come from within, and they defile. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I would say the two most misunderstood and misquoted books in the Bible, the first and the last, Genesis and Revelation. And it's good for us to remember just the background to Genesis, just a couple of things. The Bible was oral tradition for a long time before it was ever written down. And in the book, the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, you had 4 different traditions of stories that were collected and edited and put together as the Pentateuch. You had the Yahwistic tradition, you had the Elohistic tradition, you had the Deuteronomic tradition, and the priestly tradition. And we need to remember that Genesis is not a book of science. It doesn't tell us how things came to be. Genesis is not an eyewitness account. Genesis is a story of faith from 4 different traditions that are compiled together in the Pentateuch. And the purpose of the first 11 chapters deals with the origins. And they're showing that God is the creator of all. It's a religious truth they're teaching. That human beings are supreme in creation. Human beings are free. And because they're free, they misuse their freedom given by God and sin. That's what the message of the first 11 chapters is. How evil entered into the world, our misuse of our freedom after God making us good. They're religious truths, not eyewitnesses or scientific accounts. Okay, that's important. If you look at, we say Genesis 1, you have the priestly account of creation. Genesis 2, you have the Yahwistic account of creation. So which is right? There's no right or wrong. They're religious truths, not eyewitnesses or scientific accounts. So we need to remember those truths when we read the book of Genesis. And the first 11 chapters are not the oldest part of Genesis, but they were placed at the beginning of the Pentateuch, at the beginning of Genesis, because they dealt with the origins. It's the work of an editor. That we need to remember that. Many editors. Okay, the gospel today. To appreciate this gospel, think back to the Maccabees. They gave up their lives rather than eat pork. And here Jesus is saying, everything is edible. What a radical change. Because like in the Old Testament, there were so many things, anything with blood, or anything like catfish or shrimp or pork, you couldn't eat them. And here Jesus saying, everything is edible. And this is a radical departure from the Old Testament. And Jesus makes it clear, what defiles the person is that which comes from within. Evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, licentiousness, deceit, envy, blasphemy, arrogance, folly.